Well, Jonathan is looking mighty scary over there. Apparently, they released quite a lengthy thing for the new patch, so let's look at what the new league has in store for us, shall we? Return of the Ancients. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2.
That you
and
are.
Welcome to GGG Live. We have a huge amount of stuff to share today, so it's going to be a good one. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so you'll be able to claim the Red Queen's font hideout decoration by following the instructions below.
I did leave my phone on
so
at work while this was happening so that I got that.
Path of Exile 2, Return of the Ancients.
Here we go.
Those in darkness, who once lay dormant, now return.
There was a teaser for this. I saw screenshots of something that looked like that. I never watched it though.
Rise again.
Oh. The Arbiter.
Behold, the first edict.
Origins of Divinity. Whoa. Okay. Hammers confirmed. Wrong game. New Arbiter Pinnacle boss. I never fought the Arbiter of Ash. Rite of the Nameless. Ritual reworked. Okay, interesting. Ooh. He's carrying someone? Okay. New Ritual Pinnacle boss? Okay. Waking the Dreamer. Genesis Tree Crafting? What? Oh, it is Breach. Okay. Breach reworked. Okay. I heard they did a lot of stuff in this. New endgame quest. Okay. Something about the Raven. Delirium reworked. Okay. I do know that swords are not included, by the way. That's the one thing I know about this. New Delirium Pinnacle boss. That looks sick. Runes of Alder? Alder? Remnant Encounters. Isn't Alder a set in Diablo 2? Calgurn skills. 25 Calgurn skills. Okay. The hell are Calgurn skills? Expedition reworks? Okay. I never did Expedition. Never saw the point. Explore the ocean. Ooh. Crater. New Expedition Pinnacle boss. That is a Colossi from StarCraft 2. New endgame quests.
Continue the search. See what you can find.
Atlas classes. Okay. Temple to Core. Okay, interesting. Atlas Abysses. Oh. 50 new bosses and pinnacles. Including the ones we just saw, or... Probably. New Atlas passive tree. New crafting systems. Yo. Spirit Walker Ascendancy. Okay. Will I finally enjoy Huntress? Martial artist? Oh, hell yes. Dude, I love Monk. 40 new uniques. Okay. Until the Druid showed up, I was a Monk main. But I might play a Monk again this league.
Is to face oblivion.
Return of the Ancients. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Explain this to me. I assume there's a reason why this is an hour and 20 minutes long. So, May 29th. Right. It's a bit.
So as you can see,
comes out.
There's just so much going on in Return of the Ancients, it's hard for even us to keep track of it all.
Yeah.
Now, we promised that this one was going to revamp the endgame, and I'm very excited to talk about it. But first, we've got to talk about the league. So to do that, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts,
Hi.
Game Director on Path of Exile. Now,
Always
for
a
those
pleasure.
of you who are new to Path of Exile, each time we release an update, we also release a new league. Not only do we have a new economy, but we also introduce new content through the campaign, which gives you a fresh play experience right from the start of the game, as well as new mechanics, storylines, and in-game bosses.
Yeah.
In the Runes of Eldar League, you will
Eldar,
encounter a
okay.
man being attacked by the undead in Clearfell.
Starting it early.
After saving
Okay.
him, he introduces himself as Pharaoh, a young blacksmith trying to bring back the ancient art of Ezomite runesmithing. He has been collating his discoveries in a tome and is keen to show you how runesmithing works. By inscribing symbols on these ancient Ezomite remnants, you can create all manner of old magics. Unfortunately, on doing so, the corpses of the nearby undead are revived and infused with some of the latent power,
Okay.
making for a difficult fight.
It's a huge wormy thing.
After defeating these monsters,
Lightning arrow, of
Pharaoh
course.
realizes that runesmithing is a dangerous business,
Oh.
and he is going to need the help of someone a little more martially inclined to discover these secrets. He lends you his tome and asks that you note down anything you discover when you return to him. In each area in the Runes of Eldar League, you will find a remnant, and as you approach it, you will
Each
notice
area?
that some
Okay.
symbols are already present, and some are waiting for you to fill them in. Depending on which symbols are already present, you'll have different options for which items you can create using this magic.
Oh, okay.
For example, if you combine Tempest and Lightning, you can create an Orb of Augmentation.
That's really nice for early game. Really nice. Holy slowdown.
But be careful. The symbols used to craft the items also empower the monsters
Werewolf.
around the remnant, who will be revived as undead to fight again with different properties depending on what runes you used. So, if you use a fire rune in your recipe, the monsters will be empowered with fire. Or if you use a moon rune, lunar beams will rain down as you fight the monsters.
Oh. So that's what lunar beams are. Reminds me of the
After the
Ball
fight,
three, is that his name?
break the remnant to receive the item you crafted.
the Act 1 boss. Verisium.
As you get higher level,
Whoa.
you will start to find remnants with more slots for more runes, allowing you to craft rarer items.
Oh.
As the number of slots increases though, more waves of monsters will be added, with each wave being empowered by more and more of the runes.
Nice.
And this can get pretty dicey, because some of the runes can have powerful effects.
He
Like
kind of
the
just fell
Oath
over and
rune,
died on his own.
which will cause one monster to be nominated as a leader, spawning waves of minions. The leader itself will be invincible,
Whoa.
but killing its minions will deal damage to it.
Makes sense. Okay, Verisium orbs stack up, so do
Some
they lead to an
recipes can get
encounter?
pretty large, requiring 6,
Ooh.
7,
You had to pick those two
or
numbers,
even
didn't
8
you?
runes.
Astrid's creativity.
But don't worry, you won't have to remember them. Pharaoh's runecrafting book will record all the options, allowing you to simply
Whoa, whoa,
pick
whoa,
which
whoa,
one you want to craft.
I read
The book
druidic.
will
Gain 2 druidic prowess when you heavy stun a rare unique. What the shit is druidic prowess?
record all the options, allowing you to simply pick which one you want to craft, given the existing runes that are already on the remnant.
A red hat
To
have a chance to
expand your
shoot
knowledge
an
and to
additional
allow you to
arrow.
craft more items, Pharaoh has asked that you keep an eye out for signs of runic magic around Rayclost. He wants to document anything you find in order to rediscover the secrets of Ezomite runesmiths of old.
And the portal to Tristram.
The first of these can be found in Ogham, and reveals to you an ancient secret, buried deep underground. The runic magic which the Ezamites believe to be their own is actually of Kalguran origin.
Oh. That's some lore right there.
Thousands of years ago, the Kalgurans came to Rayclass to find sources of verisium, a metal on which engraved runes allow control over reality.
Alright.
Pharaoh is determined to learn these ancient ways and gain mastery over them. If you can bring him more verisium, he'll be able to use it to smith power into any armor, granting you runic ward, the power harnessed by the Kalgurans since ancient times.
So what is...
Runic ward is a new resource
I was about
that
to
protects you
roll
from
back
death.
there.
Should you run
Ward.
out of life, your runic ward will kick in,
It's on the health
sustaining your
orb.
body until your life can return. It effectively acts as an extra life pool. Of course, should you take enough damage to run out of that, you will still die.
Oof.
Every single piece of armor in the game can be upgraded this way. Even uniques.
Ooh.
Some are just a strict upgrade, giving runic ward with no downside. Others are more extreme, sacrificing defenses to get a much larger amount of runic ward.
Oh.
There are even some that add new modifiers to uniques entirely, making them much more viable.
Did you see that?
There are much
Like it went from... It's one of those
Others
chess
are
pieces with like 2,741 armor.
more extreme,
And then
sacrificing defenses to get a much larger amount of runic ward.
it's just straight up 995 runic ward. Instead of armor on it. Question is though, is that worth it? Because now, you know, it gives a bunch of runic ward, minus to your maximum elemental resistances, higher stun threshold, take no damage from crits, but like, is that worth it?
There are even some that add new modifiers to uniques entirely, making them much more viable for higher level play. But the Kalgurans use runic ward for more than just a defense. It can also be used to power many other magics. Instead of using gems created from corruption, the Kalgurans used runes of power and fueled them with runic ward. Many of the options available from remnant crafting are new types of Kalguran skills that exclusively spend runic ward to wreak havoc. An example is Triskelion Cascade. Using it will cause your next spell to be triggered multiple times in a Triskelion pattern. You can use it with skills like Ice Nova that you cast from yourself, or with something you target at a distance, like Comet. There are also skills to modify existing effects using runic magic, like Frost Flame Nova. Using this skill on a pack of burning enemies will transform the Ignite into Frostfire, both burning them and building up freeze at the same time.
Ooh.
You have basic buffs like Hollow Shell that guards all nearby allies, to more complicated mechanics like the Mark of Repulsion that creates a mark capable of pushing away all nearby enemies. Instead of spending mana, like skill gems do, all these skills cost runic ward, and unlike gems, they don't have a color. This means that they don't care about attribute requirements, or what kind of weapon you use.
Interesting.
These skills are designed to be used on any class.
They don't care about
and so
weapons.
often interact with mechanics that apply across many characters.
Huh.
By combining different runes together, the Kalgurans were able to support their runic abilities, and you can as well. There is also a set of runic supports that can be combined with regular skill gems in interesting ways. Concussive Runes allows you to add these concussive shockwaves to any skill that stuns. While Runic Infusion lets you spend ward to directly empower the damage on any skill. Now, there are other quests during the campaign too, that unlock even more interesting crafting methods.
Tell me.
Buried deep in the jungle in Act 3, you can find the Mystic Refuge, containing even more secrets for Pharaoh to learn from.
What though?
Using this knowledge, he gains the ability to
that
reforge
new?
unique weapons.
I don't recognize that
With
hammer.
this technique, many low-level reforge
Move your cursor back, damn you. Let me read that thing. Here we go. Rimnor's Hymn. Oh, it's a level 1 item. Increase physical damage, 14 to strength. Is this new? I don't think it can't be new, can it? I straight up don't recognize this. Slam skills you use yourself cause an additional aftershock. I mean, that's cool.
reforge unique weapons. With this technique,
Oh my god. That upgraded the base of that item. Holy shit. It's now Runeforged Oak Great Hammer. Goddamn, made it level 33 instead. Ah, damn.
many low-level unique weapons can be upgraded to do significantly more
Not
damage.
bad. Okay.
Now, we've been
That's-
able to take a bunch
That's very Diablo 2 of them. I love that. Oh,
of uniques that had interesting modifiers,
Yeah?
but were not in-game viable, and give them a bit of a boost to get there. And it's not just low-level uniques. All Kalguran uniques are able to be runeforged this way too, and they
nice.
can do some pretty interesting things. Like Searle's Grit, a new unique, which when runeforged can get one of several different outcomes. Now, unique,
Look at
which
that.
when runeforged
Temporary maximum runic ward, okay. Is added there. Maximum quality is 40% is put on there, okay. Physical damage, strength, yeah. Skills which empower an attack have a chance to knock out that, yeah. Added physical thorns for runic plates, okay. Oh, maximum quality is 40 is still on there. So instead of physical thorn per active protective rune, it's the physical thorn damage per runic plate. Okay. Not sure what all this means, but I'm
can
intrigued.
get one of several different outcomes.
Yeah.
Now, there is still so much more that you can craft with remnants. There are also 100 new runes, as well as many other new crafting.
Say that again?
There are also 100 new runes, as well as many other new crafting currencies.
What?
This is the runes of Elder after all, and some of these runes have quite powerful effects.
Someone needs to rein them in.
For
What?
example, this elemental conversion rune will convert all the existing mods on a non-unique weapon from one element to another. Using it, you could combine a weapon with all 3 elemental damage mods into a single element, making a weapon with massive amounts of cold damage.
Holy hell.
There is also a rune that lets you destroy your rune sockets to turn them into a dual socket on your item.
Wait, what?
To turn them into a dual
What? Destroys all augment sockets on the item to create a jewel socket.
There is
Oh.
also a rune that lets you destroy your rune sockets to turn them into a dual socket on your item.
What happens if I remove it then? Are the sockets actually destroyed? Or is it stuck in there because it's grayed out? Oh, it was just grayed out because it was holding the jewel. Okay.
And there are even crafting meta runes that can unlock new types of mods when used with regular
Chronomancy
crafting.
modifiers?
For example, this rune of Chronomancy will unlock a set of time-related mods to be crafted on your boots.
Okay.
Once it's
Oh.
placed inside, use regular crafting orbs to attempt to get new mods like cooldown speed or increased skill effectuation.
Increased cooldown recovery rates. Damn.
You can also create
Maximum runic ward, increased maximum runic ward. Okay.
a new type of currency called
Increased chance to inflict ailments.
Alloys.
Okay.
using
Remnants can become collected from further away. Increased presence area of effect. Increased mana cost efficiency. Temporary minion skills have +1 limit of minions summoned.
regular metals alloyed with verisium.
There's a
New
lot of
modifiers
stuff
not
in here.
normally
Goddamn.
available can be directly crafted onto your items. Using imbued alloy could improve your ailment damage, for example. There are honestly so many options here that unlock all sorts of crazy crafting
Yeah.
projects. So I think people will be experimenting with these for a long time. Once you get to King's March in Act 4, Pharaoh finally meets Danig, a real Kalguran runesmith.
Our boy.
And riddled with excitement, He wants to learn how to merge modern Kalguran techniques with the ancient knowledge that he has found. From here on, Pharaoh joins in the Kalguran expeditions that Danik has been leading. With the ancient knowledge that Pharaoh brings to the table, the Kalguran expeditions that Danik has been going on will change significantly. For those of you who haven't played it, the Expedition League mechanic involves carefully placing explosives, uncovering the buried dead, and recovering Verisium from them. By choosing where to place the explosives, you can choose which kind of challenges you would like to face, or rewards you would like to claim. But unlike before, expeditions now contain the remnants from Runes of Eldur, allowing you to do some specific crafts along the way using the new League crafting mechanic.
I mean, that has to go.
One very important difference from the simple remnant encounters, though, is that the empowerments that the remnants grant apply to every monster down the explosive line for the rest of the encounter, stacking together.
It didn't before?
This can lead to some pretty extreme situations. If you stack too many remnants, you might be in for a fight beyond your abilities, but the rewards can be very worth it. Each mod on the monster is improving the items that they can drop. Once you get to the endgame, you will find that the Atlas has changed substantially. To the south, you will now find
the end game of this game is where I usually just dip out. Like, unfortunately, it's whenever I've reached maps, I've usually just like after the early access 0.1 league, right? I've gotten to endgame. I've joined a group where I can just run behind someone to get XP. And then when I got to like 90, 91, I did a few maps on my own, and then I promptly quit after like a few hours. And it's been like that for every season since 0.1. So I'm hoping that this changes the experience dramatically for me. I don't know that it will, but that's what I hope for with this, at least.
The coastline of Rayclast, with the ocean beyond. Get to the endgame, you will find that the Atlas has changed substantially. To the south, you will now find the coastline of Rayclast, with the ocean beyond. Kingsmarch has not fared well after the Cataclysm, and lays in ruins. Rog's shop has been destroyed, but he is much more concerned about his wife, Gwenin. He would like to launch an expedition deep into the ocean to find her. And this begins a new major mechanic for Expedition, exploring the ocean. Previously, a logbook was a single encounter. Now, using a logbook, you can send ships to explore an area of the ocean to the southeast.
Whoa.
Uncovering a range of islands to begin your search for Gwenin. You can hop from island to island, doing many new encounters. There are islands with expeditions, grand expeditions.
What the shit is that?
New bosses, and all sorts of other unique things to find. Eventually, you will find the island that Gwenin has been holed up on. It turns out that she has found the tomb of an ancient Kalguran.
But she's fine. Midvid?
While she appreciates you coming to her rescue, she is still keen to blow open the doors of the vault.
Name the boss
and take
Mid?
whatever you can find inside. It's just a shame that Midvid isn't as dead as you previously assumed.
Oh, Medved. Okay. The accents.
Now, after you have defeated Medved,
I see.
you will find another logbook.
Now I hear
and
it.
This time, you can use it to choose which direction you want to explore.
Ooh.
The ocean is vast and contains a huge number of new islands to find. With each logbook, you can explore one sector, and you can go as deep as you like. There are all sorts of interesting objects to uncover and dungeons to explore. Many of the islands have expeditions with totally new mechanics. So for example, here is a volcanic island with voltaxic sulfite. Blowing up the sulfite will unleash extra waves of enemies.
Sulfite, huh?
But there is also this wall with a suspicious light coming from behind it. On blowing it open, a giant ogre comes out.
Oh.
And he is determined to eat as
Big
much
boy.
sulfite as possible. The more
Brugor.
sulfite mounds that you have blown up, the more empowered and the more rewarding he will become.
Okay.
These islands contain all sorts of little secrets that you can find and blow up. Free trapped wisps, blow open root doors, even raise ancient precursor technology. And of course, more bosses. There are more and further
Good.
vaults to blow up, and one of them in particular is pretty important.
Okay.
The Tomb of Uhtred, the Star Drinker.
Uhtred. Okay. Uhtred, the starter. Okay, okay. Looks cool.
Uhtred was responsible for calling down the meteors of Verisium, which the Kalgurans used to power their ancient magic.
Oh.
And upon defeating him, he calls down a truly gigantic one into the ocean nearby.
What the shit? That's awesome.
On visiting it, you find that it is shrouded by a strange energy emanating from the Verisium core of the meteor within. There
Malthael?
is something growing in there, and it can't be anything good. In order to gain entry, Danik suggests that the Triskelion Flame, an ancient Kalguran artifact that can absorb and cancel the effects of Verisium magic, could be used to enter. But to find it, you will need to locate the Tomb of Olroth, leader
many
of the
steps.
Knights of the Sun. Defeat him and gain access to whatever eldritch nightmare is growing inside. Now, we're not going to spoil the boss, but one thing you should know is that the Verisium that makes up the core of the meteor is of a quality that has not been available for millennia.
Whoa. Venom?
Bringing this to Pharaoh and Danik should allow them to forge some objects of power, the creation of which has been lost to time.
Let me look at this. Plus to all maximum element resistance. So this is a strength int hybrid base. Okay. Increased armor and energy shield percent-wise. Okay. Increased spell damage. Strength and int. Damage taken from hits bypass energy shield if energy shield is below half. Lose all runic bindings when you shapeshift to gain an equal amount of unbound potential. In one runic binding on hit with spells, no more than once each second. Okay.
So that's the league, and there is a lot going on. To sum all that up, there is a new encounter with over 30 new monster types and over 30 new rune modifiers to enhance them.
Oh, thought they were
You
dead.
can create more than 100 new runes to craft your gear, as well as dozens of other new currency items. And there are new quests added to the campaign to unlock even more new crafting options. Rune forging armors, upgrading uniques, dozens of new Kalguran skills and supports, tons of new islands to discover by exploring the ocean.
Nice. Oh my god. Look on the side. Holy goddamn. Look at all this. What is all this? What? That's so much stuff.
Tons of new islands to discover by exploring the ocean. 5 new bosses, including a new pinnacle boss. And a bunch of new uniques to top it off. But
That leap was pretty
there's
clean.
still a ton more to come. It's time to talk about the massive changes to the endgame.
Oh yeah?
But for that, I'll hand it back to Jonathan.
Now, as Mark hinted at before, the endgame atlas is very different now, and the ocean to the south is the least of the changes.
Okay.
The entire area around your starting location is now teeming with new quest lines and things to discover. Will you investigate the strange forest to the west? The cracks in the earth to the east? Or perhaps visit the ruins of a Val city in the north? The atlas now has fixed points of interest at specific locations,
Good.
giving you specific objectives that are easy to find.
Good.
Like before though, no matter which objective you choose, going to towers to see what's out there is always a good idea. The first time you do that though, something new happens. The earth shakes, and a gigantic fortress rises from the earth,
Okay. Okay.
a
Nice.
remnant of the ancient precursor civilization.
Oh, is that underneath a tower?
The Cataclysm of the
Top
Beast
looks
has
like
caused
one.
an ancient protocol to be invoked. Should corruption ever take hold to this degree, the world must be scoured and purged of corruption. You will need to make your way into the fortress and activate the gates. Gain the keys to reach these ancient precursor weapons and disarm them. But this will be no easy task. The fortress has many areas to explore and many new things to find.
Whoa.
You will power up ancient machines,
Whoa.
fight new and deadly foes,
Sentinel of
discover
the...
many new areas, and uncover some dark secrets.
I'm glad seeing some mercenary action.
Now, the Fortress is the first of the new full endgame storylines that we're adding in 050.
What are you hiding back here? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Is this the paladin or is it the guy on all the art for the game? Probably the guy on all the art for the game. Let's be real. That's probably who they're hiding back here. But then again, why would you hide him behind all this stuff? Has he been here the whole time? Is his name Sam?
Now, the Fortress is the first of the new full endgame storylines that we're adding in 050, and there's a lot going on with it. But not only that, it has some pretty cool new mechanics as well. The areas inside the Fortress are special. Many of them have new mechanics or rewards that they grant.
Okay.
Like this map,
Ooh.
where all the rares are contained in essence crystals.
Oh, hell yeah. That's dope.
Or this one, which replaces all monster packs in the area with strongboxes.
Interesting.
Or this one, which spawns an Ismeri spirit that always moves on from a rare after you kill it, allowing you to chase it through the entire map.
Oh, God. And it combines with an essence. Of course it does.
Now, just like the normal areas of the Atlas, you'll need to fight the map boss of each area to
What's
complete
that
the map.
one
But
symbol
unlike
down?
the normal areas of the
What's this? What does this mean? I don't recognize that. What does that mean?
Atlas, you'll need to fight the map boss of each area to complete the map. But unlike a normal map, the ones in the fortress each contain precursor nodes after the boss, and activating these nodes will give you points for the new and improved Atlas passive tree.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, we had an Atlas passive tree before, but it was one of the areas of the endgame that just wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah.
The Atlas tree now works quite a lot differently.
Ooh, reveal radius, fun.
We have significantly upgraded the kind of mechanics that you can find on the Atlas tree.
What's that strong boxes?
Like this one, that gives a chance to make rogue exiles you fight retreat from combat
Oh, an
and
adjacent
move to
map
an adjacent map.
and upgrade their equipment.
Before you fight them
said as
again,
well,
they'll
yeah.
upgrade their gear and come back with a grudge this time.
Yeah. That's fun.
There are also a lot of nodes that combine mechanics together in new ways, like this one, which lets Ismeri spirits possess strongboxes. All the regular monsters that come out of them are touched by the spirit, and the rares are all possessed, giving you some incredible loot potential.
Fun. It's good.
You get points from every single area you complete in the fortress.
And you have side
unlike
trees.
before, that means you can allocate the entire Atlas tree. Yes, this whole tree can be yours.
What?
This change is pretty important, since it allows us to be able to create many types of bonuses that we wouldn't have been able to create before.
Okay.
Like this one, which gives a chance for cities to be invaded by another faction, and can even allow it to contain 2 faction leaders, allowing you to get 2 crisis fragments. If we'd done this kind of thing in the old tree, we'd have wanted to
Gianor is
spec
his
into
name.
it before running a city map, then unspec out of it before running anything else.
Yeah.
With full allocation, we can have cool bonuses like these.
Cool.
Now, obviously, we still want to make sure that you have choices that define your in-game Atlas build.
Yeah.
So many nodes in the Atlas tree are now multi-choice. Everyone will get the node, but which bonus you choose to use is up to you.
Clever boys.
Do you want your powerful boss maps to contain more essences, summoning circles, or rogue exiles? But there's also nodes that contain more unusual things. So for example, on this node you can choose. Do you want to give a chance for shrines to instead be given to the map boss in the area, making them more challenging but dropping special loot?
Uh-huh.
Or would you rather give a chance to be given a shrine buff before entering boss arenas, making for an easier fight? Now, I could probably nerd out about
People are still gonna just pick one of those and then swap between them whenever they do specific content anyway, though. Unfortunately.
Cool stuff in the tree all day, but we should probably get back to the fortress.
Sure.
Now, one of the really important things we wanted to do was make it so that all the boss fights in the endgame are now accessible with a quest line.
Okay.
That means that to fight the
That's
Arbiter
good.
of Ash for the first time, you don't need to get lucky by finding keys. They will be in fixed
Nice.
locations, and there's a quest to get them.
Oh, look at that.
But the Arbiter of Ash is no longer the pinnacle of Path of Exile 2. For that, you'll need to travel into the very center of the fortress.
Okay.
An incredible challenge awaits you, should you choose to go there.
I would just descend again.
After the storyline, you still unlock keys for pinnacle bosses in the usual way,
Okay.
exploring the world and finding the keys required to get to them. But we have added a lot more interesting things to find out there as well. There are now all sorts of mechanics that can spawn on maps in the wilderness. For example, some maps might spawn as a rogue exile hunting ground, containing multiple rogue exiles who are there to hunt rare beasts. You might come upon them in the middle of a fight and be able to take out both of them.
Okay.
Or a map of champions that makes all the natural inhabitants of the area into magic monsters. Or this one that causes all shrines in the area to release as merry spirits when used.
They've been
Once you've
cooking,
explored
man.
and found your keys, you can return to fight the pinnacle in the fortress again. But this version of him will be harder. And not only that, you'll have new unique rewards as well.
Ah.
Each time you fight him,
course.
you get the ability to activate one section of the fortress. And any maps that you didn't finish there will be automatically completed, giving you all the Atlas points. So if you're the type of player who doesn't want to explore the fortress, and instead just race out into the infinite Atlas, you still have a way to get all those points. So that's the Origins of Divinity storyline. It's a huge amount of new content with a ton of new areas, 5 new bosses, including a pinnacle, with a bunch of new unique items. But not only that, it also completely revamps the Atlas tree and includes a ton of new map mechanics that you can find both inside and outside the fortress. But this is just one of the new storylines. So let's talk about the next one now, Masters of the Atlas. Now earlier we talked about how the multi-choice nodes in the tree allow you to still have an in-game Atlas build, but we didn't think that was quite enough. You have an Ascendancy class for your passive tree. Why not an Ascendancy class for your Atlas tree? Well, that's where the Masters of the Atlas come in. Throughout Rayclass are many opportunities for those with the skills to find them. Atlas Masters are willing to train you in these skills if you're able to help them in return. One such master is Jado, a member of the Order of the Jinn, an organization that secures powerful artifacts to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Jado will send you on missions to investigate.
Jado's in the interlude, right? I remember at least a character that looks like that in the interlude, and yeah, I kind of love the look of them. They're kind of awesome looking.
Investigate strange occurrences on the Atlas and recover the artifacts causing them. And for each one you recover, he will gain more trust in you and teach you more ways of the Order of the Jinn. At level 1, you could choose to massively increase the chance for rare and unique chests, or make it so that all map bosses drop an additional unique item.
Oh.
Or make corrupted waystones have an additional modifier,
Oh my.
but at the cost of making them send you to a totally unknown location. Each mission you complete for Jado will unlock another row of abilities and give you another point to allocate, letting you choose how you want to specialize.
Cool.
But there are other masters too. For example, Hilda. Hilda is a member of a guild of monster hunters. She will send you on missions to assassinate specific deadly creatures around Rayclass
also in
and
the
harvest their
interlude?
parts. In exchange, she will teach you her monster hunting skills, like
Okay.
this one, which adds a 25% chance to upgrade any map boss to a powerful version. Or this one, which makes his Marian spirits no longer possess rare monsters, making them go for the unique bosses in the area instead. You might notice that many of the effects on these are both upsides and downsides. So Hilda, for example, can make it so that you only get one attempt when fighting pinnacle bosses. But in exchange for that, they always drop 2 uniques.
Ooh.
Because of that, we wanted it to be easy to swap between them depending on what you're doing. As you unlock each master, they will appear on the side of the screen. Simply click whichever one you want to use to run the map, and all the bonuses you have selected for that master will be activated. This allows you to have a few different strategies that you can quickly pick between, depending on what you're running at the moment.
Okay, so you have to pick which one.
Now, one thing that's been pretty obvious is that the endgame leagues we created when launching Early Access in 010 were not really up to the standard of the leagues we did since then. Fate of the Vaal and Rise of the Abyssal just have a lot more going on than Delirium or Expedition, for example.
Yeah.
We wanted to do a serious upgrade to all of these mechanics before we do our 1.0 release.
Makes sense.
And so that's what we've done. All 4 of the leagues we launched in early access have been upgraded with not only new quest lines, but new mechanics, new crafting systems, new uniques, and new pinnacle bosses. One of the really important changes we made to all the leagues is that you can now find them on the Atlas in specific locations.
Oh, shit.
And each one has a quest
Whoa.
line that will lead you there to being able to complete the league, along with its Atlas tree and its pinnacle boss. This is true even for the leagues that we didn't do major redesigns to. So let's use Abyss as an example. When you first encounter one in the endgame, you'll get a quest that leads you to the east, where you will find these mega abyss cracks in the earth
Where I'm
leading away
going.
from the Well of Souls. All the maps along the cracks will contain abysses with special properties, and mapping along these cracks will close the Atlas scale abysses, giving you points for the Abyss
Oh.
Atlas tree. At the end of each Atlas abyss, you'll find an Abyssal Depths with the boss fight for one of the Abyssal factions, giving you a guaranteed way to fight them. And after completing all 3, you'll get a key for the Well of Souls, allowing you to fight the Vessel of Kulamak. This kind of thing makes an in-game league so much more friendly for new players, giving people obvious goals and a guided experience to complete them. Alright, so let's talk about the
Good
first
shit.
of the upgraded leagues, Delirium, and its new storyline, The Hare and the Raven. As you may remember, during Act 4 you were tricked into releasing an ancient entity from a Karui prison known as Tangmazu, the Raven Trickster. Tangmazu delights in breaking the minds of those who step through his mirrors, and when touching one, he will attempt to destroy your mind with twisted abominations generated from your worst fears. In Return of the Ancients, the first time you approach one of his delirium encounters in the endgame, you will find Elder Maddox locked in a trance.
Oh.
His mind is trapped in one of Tangmazu's delusions, and you will need to free him.
So this is what they're doing with the interlude characters, huh?
Once free, Elder Maddox demands that as you caused this problem, you should put it right. He asks you to travel west to the Withered Willow, the location he believes that Tangmazu first gained his powers.
I gotta say, this is a very clever way for them to incorporate all the interlude characters they made into the base game. Because you're getting Hilda and Jadu, is that his name? Yeah, they were in the interlude, but like the interlude is gonna disappear when we get Acts 5 and 6, so might as well do something with those characters. And now Maddox for the Delirium questline is pretty damn clever.
But be careful. As you travel there, the Raven Trickster will attempt to break your mind. Each map around the Withered Willow features Delirium encounters. Now this is more than a simple quest upgrade. The mechanic of Delirium has been overhauled and expanded.
Oh yeah, what's that
At
bar?
the bottom of the screen, there is now a bar that indicates how deep into Delirium you are. You can see which direction leads deeper by looking at the fog, and the deeper you go, the more challenges you will face. By looking at the bar, you can see how long you have until the Delirium ends. And you can also see special encounters that you will face if you're able to go deep enough into the fog. At the end of the bar is always the boss of the map, but we now have a variety of other encounters that you might find as you explore the horrors of your own mind.
How do I see how
For
far is
example,
left of it?
You might encounter a purple mirror shard that when shattered will cause all the enemies to
Like, I realize this shows the distance of how far you travel, but doesn't it just despawn after a while, or did they do away with that?
fog. And you can also see special encounters that you will face if you're able to go deep enough into the fog.
Yeah.
At the end of the bar is always the boss of the map, but we now have a variety of other encounters that you might find as you explore the horrors of your own mind.
Okay.
For example, you might encounter a purple mirror shard that when shattered will cause all the enemies to become more nightmarish. After hitting this, you'll notice the Delirium demons are enhanced, significantly more powerful, larger, and scarier in general,
Yeah, that's
along with
huge.
more rewards. Or should you encounter a red mirror shard, you'll be sent into the depths of your mind. And must escape it while fighting off hordes of your worst fears.
Oh. Some cool
If
looking
you're able
enemies.
to do so, you will gain a powerful amulet with 2 instilled notables on it. Once you reach the Withered Willow, Elder Maddox discovers that a shard of the mirror is missing. You will need to track down Tangmazu and restore it if you have a hope of discovering how to defeat him, and that means entering the Raven Trickster's mirrors in an attempt to locate him. Each area around the Withered Willow contains Delirium encounters, so that's a good place to start.
Okay.
As you do Deliriums, some of the special encounters will drop liquid emotions. Normally these emotions can be used to install amulets to add notable passive buffs to them.
Yeah.
But in Return of the Ancients, emotions have a new function as well. Each
as
one
well,
now has the
okay.
ability to add crafted mods to jewels, allowing you to add specific mods to an item slot that can be quite difficult to roll. For example, Liquid Despair will allow you to add critical hit chance, while Liquid Suffering will allow you to add movement speed or Air of Effect to your jewels. But there are many more.
Whoa.
Once you've done enough delirium
Whoa.
encounters, the location of a grand
And you can only use one.
suffering will allow
Removes a random modifier and augments a rare basic jewel with a new guaranteed crafted modifier. Removes a random modifier and augments a rare basic jewel with a new. Okay. So can you only do one?
to add
I would
movement speed
assume
or Air
so.
of Effect.
Because it removed an affix there and put movement speed on it. So I would assume it's only one. But it replaces a random one. So
Allow you to add critical hit chance.
what could it
while
add?
Liquid
For Emerald, it adds movement speed. Okay. So then you would have to figure out if movement speed is a prefix or a suffix to figure out which one of two moves then, or stats then, that you would
Suffering
lose.
will allow you to add movement speed or Air of Effect to your jewels. But there are many more.
Okay.
Once you've done enough delirium encounters, the location of a grand mirror, an entrance into Tangmazu's realm, is revealed.
Okay,
But
nice.
it won't be that simple to enter. Using his powers, he reflects the map box for a
Ishtar.
ridiculous empowered fight, then destroys the entrance into his realm of madness. In order to find him now, you'll need to let the insanity fully into your mind. A strange fruit is left behind which you can consume to fully embrace the madness in an attempt to reach the Raven Trickster's realm. Consuming the fruit will cover an entire area of the Atlas in fog, and every map you do in the fog will get progressively harder and harder as you explore the deeper reaches of your mind.
Oh.
At some point, you enter a new layer. A simulacrum of your memories, twisted and perverted by the Raven Trickster. Should you be able to complete the simulacrum, Tangmazu will believe that you are worthy of a true challenge, and will let you take the remaining shard of his mirror, allowing you to enter his realm of madness back at the Withered Willow.
Alright.
If you dare to face him, it will be a fearsome challenge.
Holy shit. It's like some Chainsaw Man shit.
So, that's the new storyline of Delirium. As you can see, it's not only a quest line, there are new mechanics, new crafting options, and new boss fights. But one question you might have is, what happens after? Well, once you've completed the story, grand mirrors will start appearing on the Atlas sometimes after completing Delirium encounters. After doing the grand mirror, you can select where on the Atlas you want to do your fruit-induced drug trip and get another key to fight Tangmazu. But this time, the fight will be quite a bit harder.
Oh.
And not only that, the fight will be able to drop a bunch of new uniques that were not available in the questline version. We'll show
Oh.
some of those later. After doing a grand mirror, the decision of where to spread the fog can be important, because there are some potent emotions that only come from certain map bosses affected by Delirium this way.
Uh-huh.
Like all emotions, they can craft special mods onto jewels, but these potent emotions can create mods that you can't get any other way. So for example, Potent Liquid Melancholy is an emotion that can only come from human bosses, and allows you to add a variety of on-hit effects.
Oh.
Also, you might want to try instilling amulets with these emotions. They could have some interesting effects, with some powerful notables that do not normally exist on the tree. Like Storm's Rebuke, which makes armor break boost your cold and lightning damage. But also notables from a clearly deranged mind, like Calm's Blessing. This skill allows you to ancestrally boost fire spells after using a Warcry. How about using an ancestral Flame Blast?
Oh
Now,
goddamn.
just like before, you can also upgrade the League by getting points for a dedicated Delirium Atlas tree. But this now works in a much better way and has much cooler effects.
2 out of 36.
The maps in the Delirium area of the... But this now works in a much better way.
So does that mean you can get all of these as well? Let's count them, okay? 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 31. Either I missed something, or there's 5
And
missing.
has much cooler effects. The maps in the Delirium area of the Atlas give you Delirium passive points for completing them, so it's easy to see how to progress. Some nodes will add new types of mirror shard encounters to your Deliriums. Like this one, which will pause the delirium for some amount of time, allowing you to more easily get to higher depths.
There you go. There it's decreasing. Okay. So this one
Shard
did
encounters to your
decrease.
deliriums.
Look at how the bottom keeps moving up.
Like this one,
Look at
which
that.
will pause the delirium for some amount of time, allowing you to more easily get to higher depths.
Yeah.
Or this one, which adds extra delirium modifiers to monsters when you pick it up. There are also nodes that can add new types of drops, like this one, which modifies simulacrum encounters to add special liquid emotions, which can craft time-lost jewels.
Oh.
And nodes that apply to the Atlas mechanics of the League, like this one, which causes the Grand Mirror to spread delirium fog over a larger area of the Atlas, potentially containing multiple simulacrums. Alright, so that's the changes to delirium.
Holy
The
shit.
core mechanic now includes a bunch of new things to find, new monsters to kill, and has new mechanics on the Atlas. It also has new crafting system for jewels, and over 20 new unlockable notables for
Increased
amulets.
stun recovery.
Not only that, but you have a new pinnacle boss with a bunch of new unique items, and a massively upgraded Atlas tree just for delirium. But there's still a lot more to come, so let's talk about Breach next.
Okay.
When you first do a breach in the endgame, you will find Aelith, one of the Keepers of the Flame, an ancient order of monks dedicated to preventing the Hiveborn from entering the world. As you seem to be a keen
Shayula.
slayer of demons, Aelith would like to recruit you to the order and asks that you travel to their monastery to the south. On the way there, you'll start to encounter more breaches, and will notice one of the first changes to the breach mechanic. You still have to kill monsters as fast as you can to keep the breach open, but now you can visibly see how much time you have left to keep it open, and how each kill extends its duration.
There you go.
Once you've reached the monastery, you will learn more about the Keepers. In the 25 years since the events of Keepers of the Flame in Path of Exile 1, the war with the Hiveborn has not gone well, and they have managed to establish a foothold in the world nearby. A gigantic area has fallen to the Scourge, and the Keepers are unable to get inside. Inside the monastery is the Genesis Tree, a powerful asset to the war effort, stolen from the enemy and gifted to the Keepers by the Dreamer himself. Using the tree, Aelith could create a breach stone and penetrate the Hiveborn foothold, but without Hiveblood, the tree has withered. To get Hiveblood, you will need to take advantage of another new mechanic of breach.
Bonk.
If you can keep the otherworldly portal open for long enough, the breach will stabilize and will enter a new phase.
Oh.
The Hiveborn will send their toughest miscreations to defeat you, and the breach will not close until you can annihilate them, dropping Hiveblood that you can use to restore the Genesis Tree.
Lavish womb gift?
In some
Excuse
cases,
me?
you may even attract one of the deadliest foes the Hiveborn can offer,
Varun.
a Marshal of Zesht. These monsters
looking.
also drop womb gifts, and if you take these to the Genesis
Yeah.
Tree, they can be used to craft items to help you in the war against the Hiveborn. Given that 25 years have passed since the beginning of the war, the tree has grown and withered many times, but with each cycle it learns and expands its abilities. When you first open the Genesis Tree, you will notice these holes into which you can place your womb gifts.
Whoa.
Each womb gift can be used to create a different type of jewelry and must be fertilized with hive blood.
Okay.
So for example, you can place this amulet womb gift into the tree and it will give birth to a random rare amulet. But the Genesis Tree is capable of much more. As you continue to feed the tree, its branches will regenerate and allow you more and more control over what kind of items it will birth.
Okay.
So for example, this branch of the tree will allow you to control which base types of amulets can be birthed. And as you go deeper, it will even allow you to create new base types that you can't get anywhere else. Like this one, which gives you an entire spirit skill for free.
Whoa.
Or this one, which has a rune socket in it. To the left and right are branches that will let you control which mods the amulet can get, including making sure that they're higher level, or controlling which specific mods that they will always have. With 15 points to allocate, you will have to choose wisely how you want to specialize your crafts. But it's worth noting that this tree doesn't have any cost to respecking it.
That's good.
You can enable or disable the nodes at any time.
Yeah, so every crafting source like this has 15 points. So rings has 15 points, belts has 15 points, and so on and so forth. I don't know. Do we have belts in this game? Yeah, we do. It's been a while. It's been a while since I
by
played.
clicking on them.
I'm so Final Fantasy 14 brained right now. I just thought back to like, no, we had a whole thing where we removed belts from the game and converted them at a vendor because we don't need them anymore. That's Final Fantasy 14. That's not this game. So sorry. Also, it's 2:30 a.m. right now. But yeah.
On rings, we've also added some really interesting new crafting options as well.
Okay.
You have a bunch of new base types like this.
Yeah. All max res, increase max life, increase max mana. Sorry. This item gains bonuses from socketed items as though it was gloves. Interesting. Increase chaos damage, physical damage to attacks.
But you also have entire new classes of mods that can be added.
Okay.
The right-hand branch of the ring tree adds an entire new set of caster mods to rings. From basics like extra elemental damage for spells, or more niche options like this mod that increases the rate you gain seals for Unleash.
Increase seal
And on
gain
the left-hand side,
frequency.
you can unlock an entire new set of mods for minion characters.
Huh.
This stuff is actually pretty important, because casters and minion builds didn't have as many slots with interesting item crafting compared to attack builds.
Yeah.
The Genesis tree narrows that gap.
Cool.
There are also trees for belts and currency.
So
I won't go over them too much here.
casters and
but there are all
summoners
sorts
better
of goodies in these
go
too,
breach.
like being able to create new catalysts for jewels, or a belt that gives lightning damage.
That was cool.
Once you've done
Lightning
enough breach
fingers.
encounters, you may finally get a womb gift capable of birthing a breach stone.
Just buy it.
And you can then use it on the
Wild.
Hiveborn incursion. Once used, the true extent of the Breach Demon's foothold becomes
Okay.
clear. They have not only transformed the land, but constructed huge sky hives as well. When you enter the outskirts of their realm, you will discover breach hives.
Oh.
Using the power of the Keepers of the Flame, these otherworldly structures can be burned away when walking through them. But for each one destroyed, more of the Hiveborn will attack when you attempt to purge the hive. These encounters are particularly rewarding for womb gifts, so you'll want to do as many of these as you can. But your real goal are the sky hives deeper
There.
into the domain.
It looks really cool.
These
all this
twisted
stuff.
creations are securing the demon's entry into our world.
Wave 3 out of
Inside the
24.
very center are the Breach Lords Tool and Ash, and you will need to defeat them if you want to get rid of the foothold once and for all. Now, once you've completed the questline version, there is still more to do. You will find other breach domains on the Atlas randomly in your travels. For each one, you will need to find a breach stone, destroy the sky hives, and defeat the Breach Lords.
Okay. Pause. Just too late. It that was Tool. It that was Esh. That is perfectly Cthulhu enough for all of that. That's very funny.
And doing these encounters is what will give you access to fight Zesht, the existing Breach Pinnacle boss, which you can access by communing with the Dreamer himself inside the monastery.
I don't enjoy that it does this to open up. Brings back some real bad memories of the early internet.
While completing the questline for Breach, you will also be gaining points for the Breach Atlas tree, and there are a lot of cool new options here. This gaining points
30 out of 30, but that is not 30 nodes. Do they cost more than 1 point to allocate?
for the Breach Atlas tree, and there are a lot of cool new options here. This node will cause breach hives to spawn outside of the Hiveborn domains on the Atlas. And this one will give Aelith additional abilities that you can use while attacking a hive.
Yeah, so that's what the clickable
Like
circles
this
are.
one, which causes all Hiveborn in the next wave to be magic, drastically increasing their difficulty in exchange for way more items. There are also nodes that allow you to control your rewards, like this one, which adds a set of new lineage supports to the Marshal of Zesht.
Not bad.
Or this one, which lets you control which womb gifts you will get.
That's nice.
There's also some nodes that affect the Genesis tree,
Some target
like this
crafting.
one, which will cause Zesh to drop his head, which when returned to the Genesis tree, will grow a grasping orchid on the side of it. You'll have to experiment to find out what this thing is good for. Putting rings on its fingers seems to make it happy.
Happy?
So that's a rundown of what fingers seems to make it happy.
And then 3 out of 60 on exchange. You give it 60 rings and then that does something? Okay.
So that's
Okay.
a rundown of what you can expect from the new Breach questline.
There's still
There's a new
30 minutes
stabilization
left of
mechanic
this?
for breaches,
What?
hive encounters, and hiveborn incursions on the Atlas. But you
Sick.
also have a huge new crafting system and new bosses as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about the Rite of the Nameless storyline next. When you first complete a ritual in the
Ritual,
endgame,
okay.
Aoife, a lost spirit, will appear. She appears to need your help, but isn't able to communicate more than a few words, beckoning you to come to the Wildwood. Like the
isn't
other leagues,
that the
Ritual now
druid's
has a
wife?
place on the Atlas to call home. The Wildwood can be found to the west. When you first arrive there, Aoife's spirit will guide you in, where you will discover that inside the Wildwood, spirits can take physical form.
Morgan,
Aoife has been bound to this place by the King in the Mists, and requests that you free her. But in order to do so, you will need her body, currently in possession of the King. To reclaim it, you will need to gain an audience with him. Inside the Wildwood, there are many ritual encounters to complete. Like before, in each area, triggering rituals will resurrect the nearby bound monsters to attack you, and killing the monsters will give you tribute. In addition, each ritual you do in the area will add the monsters from the previous ritual, making the encounters much more challenging the more rituals you complete.
Yeah.
Once you've completed them, spend your tribute to get items. Now, an important change to the rewards of Ritual is that all the items in the reward window are now uniques or omens, making this league's rewards much more valuable than before.
Very
In
cool.
order to gain an audience with the Nameless King, you need to sacrifice tribute to him. Any remaining tribute you don't spend can be sacrificed this way to fill up this bar. Once you have enough tribute for an audience, return to the Wildwood to divine his location with the Nameless Shrine.
That's the druid's wife, isn't it?
His location will be revealed deeper in the Wildwood, and you will need to make your way to him, kill him, and get Aoife's body.
That's who he was
Using her
carrying
body,
in the
you can
opening.
attempt to release her spirit, but this is when you learn about the true threat of the League. The Wildwood is built on top of an ancient prison. The King in the Mists didn't gain his power out of nowhere. He was granted it by an ancient being of darkness known as the Bodark, and the Nameless King's use of this power has been causing the prison to weaken. In order to prevent the Bodark from entering the world, a champion will need to enter its prison and beat him back, but those with a name are unable to survive there. In order to do so, you will need to transfer your name to another with a new mechanic in the Ritual League, the Rite of the Nameless. The rite will begin in a nearby forest. At first, it appears to be a regular ritual encounter, but that will soon change. The final ritual of the area will include the map boss.
Oh. That's horrifying.
Defeating him will give you a piece of the effigy onto which you will transfer your name.
Can't put monkey in a ritual. What are you doing?
But the ritual is still not complete. Once the map boss is defeated, the Atlas will open, and you will need to pick another adjacent map to continue the ritual.
Oh.
During the rite, each adjacent map will have different rewards to tempt you. So for example, if you go in this direction, you gain significantly more tribute. But if you go in this direction, the uniques in the reward window will turn into currency instead.
Oh.
You can also sometimes get offered specific items that will be added as rewards.
Mage
So
blood?
in this case, you'll have to choose if you want to get 5 Chaos Orbs or a Mage Blood.
Gee, I wonder.
Difficult decision, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, as this is one continuous ritual,
What do
the
you
encounters on the
mean?
next map won't start from scratch. They contain all the monsters that were gathered from the rituals of the previous map as well, making them harder and harder. And that includes the map boss too. You will need to defeat both map bosses in the final encounter for your next effigy piece. And it still doesn't end there. Pick another map, another reward, and add another map boss to continue until the ritual of the Nameless is complete. It will take 5 maps in all, and will be an incredible challenge.
Yeah, with the monkey in the center of all that, that's
But
horrifying.
once complete, you can return to the Wildwood to perform the final rite. Transfer your name to the effigy, adorn the crown of the Nameless King, and enter the prison. Now, of course, once the Pinnacle boss is complete, the league doesn't end there. As you do rituals on the Atlas, you can continue to give tribute to the King in the Mists for another audience. Pick another forest to begin the Rite of the Nameless once more,
Ooh, a div.
and this time with a harder Pinnacle boss and new unique items to find. Of course, we've also significantly upgraded the Ritual Atlas tree.
Okay, so the number at the bottom just means how many you've unlocked out of the number available. Okay. Because this clearly, they haven't spent anything here. So the first number is just how many you've unlocked out of how many possible. Okay.
Get points by completing maps in the Wildwood, and you'll be able to unlock some pretty cool nodes. Some of them affect the Rite of the Nameless, like this one, which extends its duration. You thought fighting 5 map bosses at once was
How
hard?
about 6?
How about 6?
Yep, exactly.
Or this one, which makes maps during the Rite have more reward mods, often having 2. You also have nodes that allow during the Rite have more.
Monsters sacrificed at rituals grant 25% increased tribute. Omen of greater annulment. Rerolling favors at a ritual has no cost the first time.
More reward mods, often having 2.
Cool.
You also have nodes that allow things to combine with other content, like this one, which gives a chance for rituals to be created inside summoning circles,
Oh,
adding a random boss to the ritual encounter.
goddamn.
There is even a node which adds a new type of possible ritual, the Audience with the Queen, which causes the Bride of the King to sometimes appear. Okay, so that's ritual. But let's have a look at what this means for endgame content as a whole for Path of Exile 2. When you include the expedition changes made by the League,
Yeah.
we have a total of 5 new endgame storylines, each of which has a hub, crafting systems, areas to explore, NPCs, and a pinnacle boss as a capstone. Not to mention the Masters of the Atlas storyline as well. But more importantly, you now have immediate quests as soon as you arrive at the endgame.
That's really good.
And goals with obvious progressions that you can see how to finish.
Yeah.
Each endgame questline has a progress bar that you can pop out from the side of the Atlas screen at any time that shows you how far through you are, and buttons that will take you to the hubs for them.
That's good.
Overall, it's just a way better endgame experience with a significant number of fun objectives to complete. But just in case you didn't have enough goals, we did have one other thing that you might want to complete this league.
Yeah.
These are called challenge leagues after all. Where are all the challenges? Well, players of Path of Exile 1 will be used to the fact that each league comes with a series of challenges that you can complete in order to prove that you are indeed the best. We haven't done these yet in Path of Exile 2, but it's time to change that. If you're able to complete them, you'll earn pieces of the Knight of Elder armor set.
God damn it. Of course it's cool looking. I'm gonna have to do this now. Shit. Shit. God damn it.
Opening the challenge screen will show you a series of 8 challenges. After completing each one, anyone in chat or in the forums will be able to see your prowess. In addition, you'll get a statue to put in your hideout showing anyone you trade with how many challenges you've completed. You'll earn the first piece of the armor set after doing 2 challenges, and the full armor set after completing all 8.
Goddamn.
So that covers all the content you'll encounter in Return of the Ancients. But what about some new tools to fight against these new pinnacles with? Well, we also have some new Ascendancy classes as well.
The choir.
To introduce them.
The choir's back.
Covers all the
Seppo kaffe, seppo kaffe. It's okay. Great. The choir's back.
content you'll encounter in Return of the Ancients. But what about some new tools to fight against these new pinnacles with? Well, we also have some new Ascendancy classes as well. But to introduce them, I'll hand you guys back to Mark.
Okay, Mark.
As Jonathan
Tell me.
said, we have 2 new classes to
New
show
shoes.
you today. The Spirit Walker and the Martial Artist.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Huntress's new class, the Spirit Walker.
Will I finally play this
The
class?
Spirit Walker has developed an affinity with the Asmerian animal spirits. She is able to infuse the power of multiple spirits at her choosing.
Goddamn. Whoa.
On the bottom part of the class, you will find paths for each wisp you would like to commune with, be they primal, vivid, or wild.
Okay.
Each one can give you different abilities that align with the stag, owl, or bear.
Okay.
Each ability gives you a method to become possessed by wisps of that type, and a new ability when you spend them. The stag allows you to summon stampedes when you attack. The owl grants boons in the form of their feathers, which adds extra projectiles and enhances the projectile speed of your next skill. And the bear simply summons a giant bear companion to your side. The bear will maul, slam, leap, and do intimidating roars to debuff your
Oh,
enemies.
goddamn, that jump.
Now you can specialize more into each of these wisps, but if you want to combine all 3 of them, then a new hidden power will be unlocked, the power of the sacred wisps. This node is free and enhances the quality of all 3 of your spirit animals. Your bear will take some of the damage you take and grant you life regeneration.
Whoa. Unity ring for the bear? Did I hear that right?
Your bear will take some of the damage you take and grant you life regeneration.
Yeah.
Your stags will become more aggressive, leaping towards enemies. And your owl-empowered skills will leave...
So they're basically making... Okay. So this is kind of a Diablo ascendancy. Hold on now. So the bear takes part of your damage, like the Unity ring. The thing for the deer, the stags, is that they leap towards enemies, which is what the tornado aiming does for the druid in Diablo. Okay.
Aggressive, leaping towards enemies. And your owl-empowered skills will leave a trail of soaring ground behind them.
Oh, that's what's
But that's
going
not
on
all.
there. Okay.
The Spirit Walker
Lightning
has
everywhere.
other powers beyond wisps, such as idolatry, which can give you large bonuses for using idol socketables in your equipment.
What? Let me.
For using
Companions deal increased damage per idle in your equipment. 2% increased reservation efficiency of skills per idle in your equipment. -4% to all elemental resistance per non-idle augment in your equipment. Okay.
Idol
Gloves increased accuracy. Scepter ally in your presence.
socketables in your equipment.
Okay.
And this one, which is my absolute favorite. The Spirit Walker, having attuned herself with nature, can gain
What?
the ability to tame beast bosses, opening up a whole suite of very cool options for your build.
Bosses?
Maybe you tame the mighty Silverfist.
I
of
was
the
about
jungle
to ask. Yeah, can I get the monkey?
Or maybe a 3-headed chimeral beast in the chimeral wetlands.
Yeah?
Or then there's a giant frozen
Whoa.
owl beast, Rakar, the frozen talon. There's so many choices. You're going to have to experiment a bunch with this one, and
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what bosses
But
you
only
all choose to have
beasts,
as
right?
your trusted boss companion.
That's awesome.
Next
Oh,
up,
hell yeah.
we have the Monk's new Ascendancy class,
hell yeah.
the Martial Artist.
I can't wait to do this
After
unarmed.
decades of
Holy
training,
shit.
he has mastered 3 of the
I know he said decades, but it sounded like he said dickheads. After 3 dickheads of training.
Martial Artist. After decades of training,
He didn't even say 3. I'm so tired. You have no idea how tired I am. I just finished streaming Final Fantasy IV for 6 hours, and I went to do this immediately. It is now almost 3 a.m. I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I put a number in there that wasn't even in the original sentence. And for some reason, I'm making fun of their accents. I don't know why. Like, it's a great accent. It's one of my favorites because it sounds so jovial all the time. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, dude. Holy
he
shit.
has mastered
Sorry,
3
Jonathan.
of the 7 hollow techniques. Channeling hollow form
I said Jonathan. It's Mark. What am I even doing anymore? Holy shit.
3 of the 7 hollow techniques.
Okay.
Channeling hollow form technique allows the martial artist to create illusions of himself,
Whoa.
which then use a skill of your choosing. Perfect for turning skills with less area of effect into ones that can obliterate packs with
That's
ease.
cool. Okay.
Should you find yourself overly vulnerable while channeling, you might want to take Way of the Mountain, which causes you to be covered in stone when you immobilize enemies, mitigating large amounts of damage. This can even enhance your attacks too. By hardening your weapon in stone, you can deal even more
It's really funny though because he's doing more damage when he's not summoning them than when he is.
damage. After taking Hollow Focus technique, you can manifest your spiritual energy into objects. In this case, bells, which will appear
Bells?
around the martial artist and can be shattered by any of his attacks, even ones from the Hollow Form technique earlier. Hollow Resonance technique furthers that by adding a manifested bell to your back, which rings each time you deal a critical strike, damaging all enemies around you. Through all
like
the
that.
martial artist's thorough training, he has mastered the flow of internal spiritual energy too, and has
Hold.
engraved runic tattoos around his meridians. By doing this, he can gain the benefit of extra runes. Just open your inventory and add the runes.
Does it
There is
show
one
on
that
him?
counts as a helmet, 2 as a body armor,
Oh.
1 as gloves, and 1 as boots.
It doesn't change his appearance, though. That would have been great. Like, imagine the glow on the character. Doesn't even have to be really strong. It could be like a faint glow, but still, it would have been dope.
Finally, your hands. The ultimate expression of a master of the martial arts.
Ooh.
Taking Way of the Stone Fist will
Gloves you equip have their base type transformed into fists of stone. Okay. Well equipped, and their prefixes and suffixes are transformed into more powerful related modifiers.
cause your gloves to become a new base type when equipped. Each modifier on the original pair of gloves has an equivalent, more powerful, and
Wait, hold on. Read the implicit. +3 to evasion rating per level. Okay, so when you're like level 90, that's 270 evasion. And +1 to maximum energy shield per level, so 90. Okay.
more impactful modifier. For example, these gloves add some physical damage, cold damage, lightning damage,
Yeah. Flat damage in 3 elements. Fire res, lightning res. Gain life per enemy hit. Okay.
some resistances, and life gain on hit. Now, when I equip these, they become literal fists of stone.
+270 energy rating, yeah, or evasion rating. +2 maximum fire resistance. +2 maximum lightning resistance. And still fire and lightning resistance. Okay. So they capped out on +2? Because they had 40 and 27. So did they take 20 from each? No. They took 40 lightning resistance. And they took, what, 13 fire? Yeah. 13 life per enemy hit with attacks if you have dealt a critical hit recently. Okay, so it gives you more life, but with a qualifier for it. Attacks gain % of damage as extra physical. Oh. Is that actually better, though? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how those qualify against each other, to be perfectly honest with you. I am unclear on that. Might be really good. I genuinely don't know.
And not only grant me a bunch more evasion and energy shield, they now also grant a lot more damage, some maximum resistances, and a significantly higher amount of life gained on hitting enemies.
It's really cool.
With all the different rune combinations you could do, and
The
different
AoE on that
modifiers
is
and gloves,
enormous.
there's a ton of different build options, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can come up with. Now, with so many new bosses in Return of the Ancients, of course we want to have a huge number of unique rewards.
Yeah, we do.
There are some pretty cool things in here,
That's a
so we
huge
wanted to
wolf.
show you
What?
a few of them. Twisted Empyrean is a two-handed mace made from the purest of Verisium, combined with the beast's corruption. It converts all of your mace's skills fire damage to cold,
Whoa.
and visually does so too, turning your volcanic fissures into glacial ones.
I love when they change visual stuff.
This mace also comes with its own built-in skill, Starborn Onslaught. Using Glory, you can leap backwards, throwing your mace at the ground, creating Verisium fissures, before calling behind it a storm of cold, metallic bolts from the stratosphere.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Next, we have Eventide Petals, an amulet that not only grants runic ward, but also comes with its own reservation skill, Midnight Zenith. This skill causes your critical hits to grant Arctic petals that hover around you.
Okay.
Once you have acquired enough of these petals, they will be consumed, creating a floral ice crystal near an enemy. Then, destroy that crystal to do devastating cold damage to everything around it. The Raven's Flock is a staff perfect for minion characters.
That's cool.
Not only does it grant spirit reservation efficiency and minion damage, it also allows your minions to inflict grueling madness on hit. slowing enemies and making all other slows on them more powerful for maximum crowd control. That's not where this item shines though. It grants a skill called Spiraling Conspiracy.
Whoa.
This skill causes a flock of ravens to circle you, dealing damage over time to anything near them.
Is it growing?
Killing enemies, or just by standing near unique enemies, causes the flock to grow, getting larger and larger.
Whoa.
For your PoE 1 players, you can think of this just like a raven righteous fire. That's not all. However.
Awesome.
These ravens are
What level is this weapon?
control.
84, okay.
Just fire. That's not all, however. These ravens are also minions, so they fully scale with minion damage and come with their own command skill.
Interesting.
Mad Flight.
Whoa.
This command skill causes your flock to create a tunnel of deathly damage.
Yeah, this is
between
probably
a set
going to
of
be
illusory
really
mirrors,
good.
obliterating anything in between.
Yeah, that's going to be
Horror's Flight is a
devastating.
pair of gloves instilled
Whoa.
with the purest of fear. Equipping these causes your enemies to become terrified of you.
The art
These
on
gloves
those.
cause you to
Goddamn.
gain stacks of fear incarnate when you cull enemies. To aid in your culling, these gloves also come with the skill Crushing Fear. This is similar to the monk skill Killing Palm, except it deals chaos damage, and the amount of damage and area of effect scales drastically based on the power of the enemy. As you use this, gain your stacks of Fear Incarnate, which increases your culling threshold, meaning enemies become easier and easier to cull, even to the point of being able to instantly kill some monsters from full life.
Damn. That's cool.
Sylvan's Effigy is a scepter for those wanting to run companions.
Asmarian Wolf.
It allows you to have any number of companions of different types, instead of the normal restriction of just one per type. But what makes this cool is the Asmarian Wolf companion it comes with.
Yeah.
This is a persistent minion that bites foes to maim them, leaps to cause bleeding, and even howls to buff nearby allies.
That's awesome.
Additionally, it comes with the command skill Eternal Hunt, which when used it will howl, calling on the spirits to manifest spectral wolves to ambush all foes around you. Liminal Coil is a crazy wand. It allows you to apply as many curses as you please, but those curses will have no effect. What's the point then? 2 reasons. Firstly, your spells gain a bunch of extra physical and chaos damage for each curse on enemies.
Oh.
Secondly, is the skill it grants called Coiling Bolts. This skill is a projectile spell that fires coiling physical and chaos projectiles with every cast.
Whoa.
What makes this skill truly special though, is that it will split and chain.
Holy shit, look at all those
What makes this
debuffs.
skill truly special though,
Look at all those goddamn debuff markers on these guys. Holy shit. And each one gives increased damage by 25%? Holy.
is that it will split and chain through every cursed enemy,
That's awesome.
causing an absolute ruckus. See for yourself.
That's
Periphery
dope.
is a unique bow, which utilizes all the powers of the Asmarian spirits by dealing damage of all elements. And all elements can cause all ailments. The coolest thing about this bow, however, is the Asmarian Swarm skill. These are minions that are summoned when you kill enemies. They will pursue all nearby enemies, damaging them and inflicting a debuff on them that boosts your elemental damage even further. Watch as you mow enemies down, and the swarms of Asmarian wisps aid you, melting enemies one screen at a time. The Ordained is a new spear, mastering in physical and lightning damage.
Jesus, look at that combination of stats. That's a beauty right there, goddamn.
With high critical strike chance too. This spear allows you to leech life not only from physical damage, but lightning too. It also creates a fragment of divinity nearby periodically. What are those? Well,
What are
this
those?
spear has the skill Righteous Descent.
Whoa,
which is an
Valkyrie?
epic divine leap, aided by angelic wings. If you use this skill when a fragment of divinity is nearby, it will become empowered, dealing significantly more damage, gaining massive area of effect, and bypassing its cooldown. When fighting a boss, let a bunch of the fragments spawn, and then just unleash your divine havoc, obliterating
Melt
them.
wax. That's dope.
Last, but not least, we have a new unique jewel, Voices. Voices is simple. It consumes 1 jewel slot to add more.
What?
There are versions that add 2 jewel slots, 3 jewel slots, and for those who are absurdly lucky or rich, one with 4 jewel slots. Equip it and
How?
notice the slots appear next to your character's portrait in the
Yeah.
center.
Huh.
One-
How would that work with jewels that give like an area thing? Wouldn't that then make this using the area jewels? Wouldn't that be better than for like the Paladin Templar or the Warrior Marauder, because their trees are right next to this? It would make more sense if it just docked around where you're spawning, I guess. But maybe you can't even insert those gems in here. For all I know, I got no clue. I got no goddamn clue.
Center.
Just a thought I had.
One of the things we are concerned
Can you do more than one? Can you have more than those 4 pop up? Can I have another one of these into a different slot? Limited to 1. Okay, never mind.
One of the things we are concerned about is how long it takes for experienced players to replay through the game in each new league.
Yeah.
As we learned from Path of Exile 1, one of the things
Ironically, though, this is my favorite part of the game. I think the campaign is the strongest bit. It's when I get out of the campaign, the game loses me. So that's hopefully what this patch will fix. But I do get that having to redo the campaign for most ARPG players is not going to be what they look forward to. So that makes sense that this would be a piece of the conversation. Me personally, I prefer this part of this game, at least. When it comes to like Diablo 4, I skip the campaign every time because, yeah, I don't know. I feel it's full of so many like cinematic moments where you're walking alongside NPCs and stuff's happening in like a very story-based handheld fashion that this game doesn't do. So I feel like that's like where they differ for me mostly, where I don't feel that bad about replaying this because I genuinely think like going through the story, unlocking things from doing the main story or the side quests to get, like learn more things and get new powers and stuff, and see all the bosses like as they appear. I think that's my favorite part of this game so far. So yeah. But Diablo doesn't really do that in the same way for me. So in Diablo 4, I skip the campaign. In this game, I want to play through it every time. And it's way better now that you don't have to replay Acts 1, 2, and 3. The interludes helped immensely.
that can really help is having elements in the campaign that tell you where to go, if you know what to look for. We'll cover just one example per act for Acts 1 to 3, but there are many more than just these. For example, Hunting Grounds in Act 1 is a large, sparse area, containing multiple entrances and landmark encounters.
You just run around the edge of it, and you're good.
Here's an example of some of the changes we've made here. Finding the ritual encounter in this area isn't too difficult.
No.
Now, after completing it, a trail of locusts will lead to the entrance to Freythorn. Just follow it and find the source of the evil.
Okay, cool.
You may also find corpses of dead animals, killed and pecked at by the crowbell. You'll notice a trail of blood leading away from them. Follow the trail and it will lead directly to the boss.
Interesting. Okay. Nice.
We even put a signpost on the road to tell you which way to go to find Ogham Village.
There you go. Follow the road.
In Act 2, in the Mastodon Badlands, you need to find the Lightless Caverns and track down the Abyssal. Now, to make this quicker, in the level you'll find these cracks. Just follow them, and it will take you right to their lair, allowing you to find and unlock the Well of Souls.
Good change.
In Act 3, the jungle areas have camps of explorers to sell you items.
Yeah.
However, they are now even more useful. By talking to the explorers, they will point towards the next area. Not only that, but it will also reveal it on the minimap, so you can know exactly where to go.
That's cool. They
These
even
are just
point.
some
That's fun.
examples. We plan to do more and more of these over time in order to streamline the experience.
Really good.
Now, as this is an endgame expansion, it makes sense that we would work on Atlas QOL.
Yeah.
We've added a search box that updates
Oh
live as you
shit.
type. Have a specific map you want to run?
Nice.
Now they will be much easier to find. If there are multiple maps, hitting enter will move you from map to map.
Oh hell yeah.
Now, making a character build in Path of Exile 2 can be pretty complex. And instead of
kidding.
designing a build yourself, many players enjoy following online build guides.
Yeah.
We have a pretty
I'm not smart enough to come up with this shit on my own. I need help. I'm definitely willing to admit that.
awesome community that has built many tools over the years for designing builds.
It's awesome.
But we wanted to improve the experience of following them. So, we are introducing a new build guide system directly into the game client. Here's how it works.
What does that look like?
Community creators who write build guides can now create a new file format, a build file.
Okay.
Once downloaded, the builds appear in the in-game client, and selecting one will show you everything you need to know to make that build. So you can see all the passives you need to allocate, ascendancy points you need to take,
Oh shit.
skill gems you need to equip, and recommendations for all the support gems you need to use as well.
What the hell?
For
That's
items,
awesome.
the build designer
What?
can specify which uniques to use in each slot, or if needed, just add some notes to the item slot to say what kind of item you need.
That's incredible. What?
In fact, build creators can add notes to just about any of these areas, allowing them to explain different trade-offs in context.
What?
Or just give more info about how these things should be used.
That's awesome.
They can also give level ranges to each element, allowing recommendations to change over time. Great for builds that need to respec after they reach a certain level. Change over time.
That's... Oh my god. I was about to ask about this.
Also give level ranges to each element, allowing recommendations to change over time.
So they can give you the actual order for how to allocate the points or the nodes. Then when you oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
Great for builds that need to respec after they reach a certain level.
Yeah.
Now,
My god,
all
that's
of
so
this
good.
is written in a standardized build format that creators can use. And we imagine that a lot of community build tools will be updated to add support for this format.
Oh yeah.
Now that we have trade market searching built into the in-game client,
Yeah.
we have added the ability to price check items you can find more easily.
Oh?
Control-Alt-clicking an item will now search for it on the trade market, showing you the current prices.
Oh my god.
For rare items, it's handy to exclude some mods. So we added the ability to enable and disable each mod so you can see what effect each one has on the price.
Oh my god.
Next
Based.
up, we're going to be talking about the new
Yep.
supporter packs.
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna
Return of the Ancients.
do it. I'm gonna
Today,
do it. You
we're
deserve
launching
it.
two new series of supporter packs.
Please be cool.
the
What
Blood
is
Reaver
that?
and Divinity packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face
So
value
no
of points,
druid looking stuff.
alongside
Okay.
several exclusive microtransactions.
I'm really waiting for some really druid looking helmets in this game. Like desperately so.
As always,
That's
the
an angel,
microtransactions
okay.
in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Yeah.
The Blood Reaver series
Oh.
of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. Let blood fuel your bloodshed. The Exsanguinator weapon effect draws the blood of enemies you've slain and funnels it into your weapons.
That's fun.
Turn the appearance of your endurance, frenzy, and power charges into orbiting globules of blood
Okay,
with the
fun.
Blood Reaver charges. While your charges are active, these blood orbs will grow in size when you absorb more blood from
Oh, yeah.
nearby enemies. There are options to have pure blood charges, or charges that still display which kind of charge they are at their core.
Makes sense.
A taste for blood doesn't negate
Goddamn.
taste for style. The elite
If I could get that in black, that would have been an incredible, like, Dark Knight, Final Fantasy Dark Knight type of thing.
Blood Reaver armor features crimson leathers and golden accents to set yourself apart from uncivilized leeches. It also features a back attachment, fashioned out of the wing of a colossal bat. Alongside every Blood Reaver is their trusted gargoyle pet. In true gargoyle fashion, they take the form of a stone statue when you are idle, leaping into action when you're on the move again.
That's very
nice. What good is immortality if you don't have a vast mansion to come home to at the end of the day?
Goddamn.
The Eternal Blood Reaver supporter pack contains the Blood Reaver Manor Hideout.
Yo, putting all your NPCs along the table, that's awesome.
This exquisite two-story estate features an organ, a grand dining table, and cages for your visitors.
Naturally.
You can alter the walls to create as many or few rooms as you like.
What? That's awesome.
Last but not least, the Servant of the Manor, eternally bound to the Order of the Blood Reavers. This henchman will manage your store, so you can spend more time spilling blood.
Stop that. We won't disappoint you. But if we do, you've our permission to beat us most violently.
The divinity.
If we do, stop that. We won't disappoint you.
The way he says most violently almost sounds like Ben Starr.
But if we do, you've our permission to beat us most violently.
I don't think he would do that, though, right? They wouldn't get Ben Starr for like a supporter pack monster vendor, right? Would they? Sounded a little bit like him. Not so much earlier there, but like the very heavy breathy parts at the end there.
The Divinity Pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Okay.
Call on Divinity to aid you in eluding enemy hits.
Oh, you can be the
Divinity
Flash?
Dodge roll effect.
You can be the
As
Flash?
sprint, actual divine
Stays-
lightning wings
it stays
will form
with
out of your
you?
back, leaving a trail of radiance as you engage or escape from combat.
You can be the Flash.
For situations that are too dicey, call on the gods above to send down the Storm of Divinity portal to create a safe passage for you to retreat through. Adorn yourself with the Knight of Divinity armor set, a highly revered attire only bestowed to those deemed worthy for the divine
Holy
cause.
shit. This, like, if you gave the character a hood, you would look like an angel from Diablo in this. Holy shit. I know which pack I'm getting.
Equipping the Divine Surge character effect empowers you with a storm of divine energy. Using skills causes the storm to burst from your character, spilling raw divinity into the area around you. The Arbiter of Divinity wings are the final piece remaining to emphasize the force divinity has over this realm. This ancient precursor machine was found locked away in a highly guarded vault. Its original purpose is unclear, but it has been altered to fuel your maps using the pure, everlasting divinity within the statue. The pillars surrounding represent how many portals you have left for your map.
Oh, you said it was
This map
everlasting.
device also tracks your progress as you complete the new Origins of Divinity storyline added in this expansion. Additionally, all microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 1. On release weekend,
As soon as I saw him running, I was like, that awkward running animation has to be PoE1. Look at that.
Additionally, all microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 1.
Yeah.
On release weekend, we will also be releasing
Ooh, the whole arm is a tentacle beast. Okay, that's fun.
the Return of the Ancients mystery box,
Another
which will
mystery
contain
box, okay.
2 armor sets,
Ooh.
a set of
Hey,
Return of the
whoa.
Ancients mystery box, which will contain
Look at that shit. That was cool. That was cool, but then what came after? God damn. That's Einar stuff. That's Crowbell stuff. That's, honestly, that's a potential druid helmet, to be real with you. That's kind of a bird, like hawk helm from Diablo 2. Kind of. Just feathers instead of metal. So probably getting that when that leaves the mystery box and goes on the actual just straight up store in
a set
half
of
a
map
year.
devices for your in-game adventures.
Does this mean the goblin skins are now in the store, by the way? If we're getting a new mystery box, does that mean that the goblin skins are in the store? That'd be cool. Play a green character.
A new tracking scroll that records the amount of currency you've gained from the currency exchange or your
from the
shop,
exchange.
and much more, like a set of finisher effects and affinity stashes. That's not all, however. The Fragment Stash tab is finally coming to
Oh
Path of Exile 2,
my god.
and with it comes some tabception. Inside this one tab,
Yeah?
there's a tab for your various boss key fragments.
Yeah.
There's also a tab for all your precursor tablets, with each type of tablet
Oh my
getting
god.
6 tabs of storage.
Oh my god.
Finally, there's a tab for your Djinn barriers and inscribed ultimatums.
Oh my
Both of
god.
which get their own 6 tabs. That's a lot of tabs.
That's a lot
So
of
that's
tabs.
everything in 050.
Holy.
This is by far the biggest update we've ever made to
You guys
PoE
are
1 or
mad.
2. New in-game storylines,
You're
clinical
crazy.
bosses, or
That
2. New in
that first swing of the monk looked like a sword at first. I was like, why are they showing that? It's not in the patch.
game storylines,
Like when he moved here, it looked like a sword for a second.
clinical bosses,
Until he rolled.
crafting systems,
Yeah.
items,
Yeah, what's
ascendancy class,
the item he's using? Is it the
Crafting
gloves?
systems.
Because those gloves look kind of neat. He's also glowing purple. I didn't even realize that before.
items, ascendancy classes, and so much more. Now,
Sentences.
because this update contains so much in-game content, we're doing significantly more testing than usual.
Hmm.
For that to happen, we're taking a little longer than usual between the announcement and the release.
Yeah.
050 will be released in 3 weeks on May the 29th,
Yeah.
with the patch notes being released on the Friday before that.
I
on
will
May
be streaming
21st.
it.
But there's just one more thing to talk about. Now that the endgame is up to scratch, we have to start talking about our plan for 1.0 release.
Oh.
The feedback we've had during early access has been critical for making all the improvements that we'll be making to the game.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we had to create enough in-game content to make an RPG that can call itself a successor to Path of Exile 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with 050, we now believe we have reached that point. And so this is going to be the last full-size league during early access.
Oh.
That's right. The next big update is going to be 1.0. Now, normally we would do our next big content release in August, but in the run-up to full release, our plans take a little longer on this one. As big as 050 is, 1.0 is even bigger. So
Okay.
we'll be launching 1.0 this year sometime after ExileCon. But that doesn't
That's in November, right? So I thought we were gonna get. Well, I was hoping we were gonna get the Final Fantasy XIV expansion that turned out to be Evercold that will release in January. I thought we were gonna get that late November, early December. But turns out we're probably getting this during that time period instead. So honestly, not too bad. I'm not mad about it. Like, this kind of works out fairly well for me, schedule wise. It's very, very, very nice to me, this schedule here.
mean we won't be doing updates in the meantime.
Okay.
In this final phase, ExileCon.
You said it doesn't mean you won't be doing it, right?
But that
Double
doesn't
negative?
mean we won't be doing updates in the meantime.
Okay.
In this final phase, we have a lot of things to polish throughout the game and balance to improve.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll also be feedback about the new endgame that we need to incorporate too.
for sure.
The difference is that the focus is not going to be on adding more content like the previous updates. It's going to be on improving what we already have.
Mm.
But we still want to encourage people to try out all the balance changes and improvements that we're making. So we're going to be running a few event leagues during this phase alongside each update.
Okay.
Think remixes of existing mechanics or features. And speaking of ExileCon, don't forget to pencil it in on the weekend of November the 7th in New Zealand.
It is November. Okay, November the 7th. There you go.
ExileCon is a gathering of our players, and a chance for us to showcase everything we'll be working on for both Path of Exile 1 and 2. And this one will be particularly important for us, since we finally get to unveil some of the coolest content that we've been working on for a while now with Act 5.
You can't do that. You can't. You cannot
Since we
do
finally get to
that.
unveil some of the coolest content that we've been working
You cannot include the shot of the couch. You can't do that. If you're unaware, there was so much photoshopping of the image of the three of them on this couch because one looks huge, one looks like One looks tiny, and I don't remember what they did to the guy on the right, but there was such an insane amount of images where they made it's Mathel, right? On the left. They made him smaller and smaller and smaller. And sorry to the other two, I don't remember your names. The guy in the center, they keep making him larger and larger while they made Mathel smaller and smaller. It's my god. Yeah. Someone had fun including this shot in the trailer for sure.
For a while now with Act 5 and 6. Tickets
Preach.
for the in-person event are currently sold out, but don't
Oh.
worry. All the announcements and talks are going to be streamed online for all of you to watch.
And I will stream that for sure. Oh, was it?
Hi.
Oh, it
I'm
ended
Jonathan
there?
Rogers, Game of ExileCon. All of our
Oh.
players are currently sold
Also, yeah, we
for a
saw
while now
Preach
with
there
Act
at the
5
end.
and 6.
It's funny because Preach has played essentially has gone through the exact same journey in the past few years with games that I have. Like it went from WoW to Final Fantasy to playing old Final Fantasy games, meanwhile playing like Diablo, Path of Exile and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I've never really been a huge Preach viewer. Not for any particular reason, really. He seems like a lovely guy. It's just, you know, one of those where you watch what you watch, you know, and you sometimes you don't expand to watching other people. But it's weird because I feel like every game I play, he's there. He's involved in the creator pool of that game, whatever it is I'm playing at the time, which is kind of cool. And yeah, and now that I'm playing ungodly amounts of Final Fantasy at the moment. But I have been playing Final Fantasy 14 specifically for 5 years. Like in a month, it's going to be 5 years of Final Fantasy 14 for me. And yeah, Preach went over during the WoW Exodus as well, I'm fairly certain. And Jesse Cox came there like a half a year earlier, I think. A year earlier, half a year. And right now, it's like it's so weird. Like it feels almost rude to Preach that I am not watching his stuff because I've been watching Jesse since WoW Cataclysm. He was OMFG Cata when I started watching him. Like it's been so goddamn long. And then I stopped watching for a few years and then I came back and like stuff like that, you know. Jesse's just overall a very wholesome guy. And that's kind of why I'm still watching him. I don't really watch anyone else from back then that I used to watch back then. Jesse's the only one who stuck around. But then recently, or in the last year or two, I started watching a group called Grinding Gear, which is not Grinding Gears or Grinding Gear Games. Not related to this at all. They're just called Grinding Gear. And it's two guys called Kyle and Garrett. And they're also, again, very wholesome. And they again play a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and currently whenever new stuff happens story-wise, Preach is there, and Jesse is there, and they all talk about the story, and sometimes OK Mage is there too. I think she's taking a break from the game right now, though. But yes, it's so weird because Preach is like in so much stuff that I'm consuming, so much YouTube media, but I've never really like hung out on his YouTube channel to take a look at stuff, which feels rude. I don't know. I don't know the guy and he doesn't care, but you know, something in me is like, man, this just good dude in the community who's like inhabiting all of the different communities that I'm like which games I'm playing, you know. It's just weird. Yeah, like little sidebar there, just some inner thought I had there for a little bit. But was that
Tickets
the
for
end of the
in-person
video,
event
by the
are
way?
currently sold out.
If
But
we're
don't
to-
worry. All the announcements and talks are going to be streamed online for all of you to watch.
Yeah, just the sound fades out and stuff like that right there. Okay. Can we maybe bring up the actual live stream though? Can we do that? Do they stream to YouTube or is it only Twitch? It's only Twitch for sure because the YouTube page only had ExileCon and that is 2 years ago. No, Twitch, don't. Oh my god, don't autoplay stuff on the front page, especially when it's music stuff. Holy shit. Let me see here. Speaking of grinding gear, accidentally clicked their their Twitch page. Here we go. Path of Exile.
Break that, but
oh
I don't think
my
that we have
god. Okay. Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Storm to burst from your character, spilling raw divinity into the area around you.
Of course, the chat is spamming swords.
The Arbiter of Divinity Wings are the final piece
Let me
remaining
see
to...
here.
There's also a...
time, we had to create enough in-game content to make an RPG that
Holy
can call
shit,
itself a
this is
successor
long.
to Path of Exile 1. Oh, even on.
Let's watch from there.
And with
again.
that, it's time to move on.
Oh, so there was still
Tickets for the
stuff
in-person
after.
event
Okay.
are currently sold out.
We're not gonna watch
Don't
the whole
worry.
Q&A.
All the announcements and talks are going to be streamed online for all of you to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I'm personally so excited for this. This is the year that PoE 2 comes out.
Yeah. Why
The
wasn't
campaign
this
is finally
included?
finished. It's been 8 years to get here, but we're finally near the finish line.
8
And with
years.
that, it's time to move on to our live Q&A.
Okay. Yeah, cut the video there. Let's hear the like if there's anything interesting they start with. Or that. You could start with no sound, yeah. And the wrong names on the screen. That is yeah. Oh. Sound, no. Clicking, okay, no.
Good to
There we go.
sit down for a nice long Q&A again, once again today. We just had a teaser for Return of the Ancients expansion and its complete overhaul to just every single thing in the endgame, complete endgame overhaul.
Yeah.
The Runes of Aldor League with a frankly somewhat confusing amount of crafting and systems and things in it. It kind of keeps going.
It's a lot, yeah.
And we've got like the Kalguran skills that work across weapons, the extra looking ascendancies and some insane uniques and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, it's kind of easy to talk about what's not part of 0.5. So with that very elegant segue.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that first.
Okay.
So I think some people definitely had an expectation
Talk
or
about
a hope
swords.
that there was going to be a new class or a new weapon type here, swords perhaps.
Unfortunately, it's just the case that making a class is something that takes longer than a single cycle. So yeah, it was never going to be on the cards for 050, unfortunately. But
So it wasn't even that it was moved in this case.
no,
never
it just
really
wasn't.
planned.
It just isn't something that we can do in that short amount of time. So it's going to have to be the next one
Interesting.
before we're able to get.
Well, last time you guys teased like the druid.
Don't
and
interrupt
Huntress
them. Next
beforehand.
one what? Next one what?
No,
never
it just
really
wasn't.
planned.
It just isn't something that we can do in that short amount of time. So it's going to have to be the next one before we're able to get.
Well,
Next one before we're able to get a new class, probably. So are they just going to add duelists when the game releases? Also, did they go back on renaming Duelist and Shadow? Did they go back on renaming them? I saw some people talking about this like a few weeks ago, and because like in the reveal trailer for PoE 2, they were like, they showed off all 8, right? It's 8 or 10, whatever. When they showed off all classes, it said Gladiator on the Duelist, and it said Assassin on the Shadow, I think is the old name. So they had decided to change them, and I like the change. I think the change is really good, because Duelist, Gladiator, pretty good. Pretty good name. I don't have that much of an opinion on the Shadow / Assassin, whatever. I generally don't really enjoy Dex classes that much anymore. Used to be my favorite thing in games like Dragon Age and stuff like that when I played them when they came out, but in the past like 10 years, I've moved from Dex to Strength basically in almost everything as far as stuff as I care about in anything like that. So, I don't know. People change, you know? And at this point in my life, I'm not a huge fan of like assassin-esque characters. So I'm definitely way more curious about a gladiator, as it were, and hopefully one day a Templar.
last time you guys teased like the druid and the huntress beforehand. Right?
Exactly. So it's kind of funny seeing everyone like this. Like probably the mistake we made was having a sword in the teaser for the breach stuff.
I thought it was official.
Yeah, I did see people talking about
so
that.
No one thought about that, but it's just kind of funny.
It is a shame, but it seems like you guys have kind of. Well, you keep raising the bar on yourself as far as class design is concerned.
And it's not like we're not working on it in the background, right? Like that is definitely happening.
I've been seeing a little bit of work going on there.
We're simple people from New Zealand. Like swords, they're advanced technology that we haven't quite gotten yet.
So
Good arguments.
We're gonna learn how they
Very,
work.
a very valid argument for Mark there.
It seems like you guys have kind of. Well, you keep raising the bar on yourself as far as class design is concerned.
And it's not like we're not working on it in the background, right? Like that is definitely happening.
I've been seeing a little bit of work going on there.
We're simple people from New Zealand. Like swords, they're advanced technology that we haven't quite gotten yet.
So you just don't understand.
We're just gonna learn how they work.
Just like get on the map, aren't you?
There's like a straight line. There's like some metal. These are complex
There's
things.
a lot to figure out there. But do you care to speak at all, like kind of what your plans are in that regard as far as like classes and?
I really shouldn't, just because it'll spoil the reveal for that will come
not
some
exactly,
of the time.
but like, what are you kind of hoping towards getting like from 0.5 onwards? In the lead up to ExileCon in terms of that? Are you hoping to get like all of the classes in the game, just one or two more or something like that?
Well, so I think that what the main focus is going between 0.50 and 1.0 is going to be more about like improving what we have, like polishing everything.
Oh my
and
god.
1.0 is where you're going to get the like the big new content update. That's going to include the Acts 5 and 6. It's going to include like class stuff. It's going to include like all that sort of thing. Because really, ultimately, the main goal of what of early access is like make sure that all the systems that we have in the game are good.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to make sure the end game is good. We need to make sure that all of the the skills, just the way that combat is good, and like all the various things, like even stuff that isn't good yet. Like Ascendancy Trials, right? Like there's going to be stuff that we need to do before 1.0 to get to.
Oh
get
shit!
Good.
Calling out Ascendancy Trials,
So
my
that's
man.
Kind of like all the various things, like like even stuff that isn't good yet. Like Ascendancy Trials, right? Like there's going to be stuff that we need to do before 1.0 to get to get good.
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of as long as we can get that stuff, then I think people trust that we know how to.
It was Mark. Okay, Mark was either laughing because he knows what they're doing with Ascendancy Trials, or he was laughing at Jonathan saying "get good." It's one of the two.
That isn't good yet, like Ascendancy Trials, right? Like there's going to be stuff that we need to do before 1.0 to get to get good. And so like that's kind of as long as we can get that stuff, then I think people trust that we know how to create like an act at this point, right? Like so that isn't exactly something we need to test per se. So really what we need to do now is like assuming that people are happy with the end game that we've released in 0.50, that will mean that we've kind of checked all the boxes of stuff that we need to know, and there's still stuff that we need to improve, and like that'll happen between 0.50 and 1.0. But like that's the main thing we need to be sure of. And then once we've got that, it's like now we can get the big update, the ridiculous update that is 1.0 ready.
And I heard you mentioning that recently as well, that you don't feel like
so
you really need.
This is going to be launching at the end of May, and then the launch is going to be like late November, early December, most likely. So it's a half a year for this league. I'm definitely not going to be playing it for half a year, but I feel like it's probably for the best.
To get the last acts in for testing.
No. I mean, like we know how to do that. It's one of those things that like I look, people saw in for like we know what we're doing when it comes to that stuff. It's just
Act 4.
So the plan's obviously to get like those last acts in, then finish the story and have all that come out at launch
in 1.0 exactly, and look, that'll be the launch
conclusion to the story then. Yeah, exactly. So you have done though
which can also put them in a place where when the end game starts and you have your atlas, it will actually be where the atlas will take place, because we're now in the second iteration of how the atlas happens, right? In 0.1, Doriani, Alva, and the player character were like witnesses to the Val Empire getting destroyed, right? And when we were exploring the Atlas, we were in the past. There was corruption everywhere. The world was completely screwed. And now, where we're at after we got Act 4, shit happens in present time instead. So the Atlas we're traversing now is in present day. So yeah, it's a lot of Interesting changes.
And extremely.
Although, maybe maybe the Atlas was in present day before as well. I don't remember it. Maybe it was in present day in 0.1. It's just that it happened after Act 3. Maybe that's what was different. Because now that it happened after Act 4, it affects like King's March and a lot of stuff that wasn't in Act 3 and all this. Whatever. It's just we're in the second iteration of where the map takes place in the early access. So whenever the full game is out, we'll know when and where the endgame map is taking place and why. Because right now I feel like it's just placeholder because it happened in 2 different ways now in the patches. So I'm curious about that as a lore guy, you know?
Gigantic update here for Endgame. And it seems like you've done a lot all-in-one expansion.
Yeah.
And you've got this plan to like kind of do a little bit of like some other stuff in the interim. So why did you go for this route of trying to do so much all in one instead of spreading it out over, say, a couple of expansions?
So in retrospect, maybe we should have spread it out. But honestly, the reason is because we wanted to actually make it so that like we wanted to deliver a patch where like this is what we expect the end game to be. Like this is the template for what leagues look like when they're in end game and that kind of thing. And I feel like if we'd just done a couple of them, it wouldn't have really got that across.
Jesus
like,
Christ, it talks fast.
Once again, this is what end game is, you know? And it really is fulfilling a lot more of what we had hoped for in terms of feeling like a world that you can explore, you know, that there's things everywhere and that kind of stuff that we had wanted for. And the other thing as well is there were just like a few things about the current end game, right? It just didn't really give you goals in the right way. Like you get to end game, you don't know what the hell to do, and a lot of players just leave right there. You know, there needs to be the case that when you get there, like there's objectives, there's things, you know, that feels like there's actually a storyline there, this kind of stuff, in order to entice players to actually go further than the campaign and actually get into end game. So yeah, I think that if we hadn't have done all of the leagues at the same time, it just wouldn't really have kind of gotten across what we're really going for there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
Makes
the
sense.
plan now is to be able to focus on a little bit more polish in the lead up to ExileCon as well.
So yeah, I mean, we plan to have some more leagues, but they won't be like content, like mega expansion type leagues. Like it's more like kind of like the 1 month event type things that we've done. And that's really just because we want to be able to, we still don't want to do mid-league nerfs. And so to be able to do all the balance changes we want to do, because there's a huge amount of balance still to do. Yeah. You know, in order to do all that stuff, you still need to have an economy reset. And so what we'll probably do is like, yeah, more event type stuff, like remixes of existing content, but also adding stuff where stuff's missing. So for example, like we still have a lot more uniques we need to make, especially that mid-game uniques, so that kind of stuff. Like we now believe we've got the standard of where a unique needs to be in PoE 2 in terms of like, you know, and it's like way more than what you need in PoE 1 in terms of being like to reach the standard. And so now that we've got that, we can expand on that, get more uniques, sort of, you know, mid-game ones, that kind of stuff. You know, so yeah, there's stuff like that that'll be coming in the sort of the updates between now and 1.0. But
okay,
yeah,
getting
like,
in
it
the
isn't going to be the kind of like, you know, mega content craziness that we've got for OFOBO here.
We have a lot to dive into as far as endgame things. While people watching live, get your questions in the chat for all of that. In the meantime, I want to ask you folks about the new league, the Runes of Aldur, which this is like an expedition rework, but it's also its own.
Probably call it here, I think.
Encountering
now that they're going into specifics
throughout this storyline in the campaign, and then into end.
We gotta
put too much thought into
flip over to the boys.
It'd be like,
yeah, our boys,
like
the lovely dev boys. Well, on that note, everybody, this that's a lot. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of things. I'm very excited for all of this. Hopefully, it will, as Jonathan mentioned, like, grab me when I get to endgame and actually keep me playing, because I want to keep playing. I really like this game. I just hope it works. Just hope it works. But that's an absurd amount of stuff that they put in there. Holy goddamn. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Finding out what actually feels worth doing, what I enjoy doing, and all that stuff. So. And the in-game following build stuff that they put in, wild stuff. Absolutely wild stuff in there. So that's very exciting. But yeah, On that note, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Chrane. You've been dealing with my bullshit for the past 2 hours. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.